Good afternoon and welcome to the latest issue of Play Print21, the weekly video news bulletin for the Australia and New Zealand print industries. This issue is sponsored by XMPie. Take the quiz with XMPie and see how their solutions can work for you. Go to do-more.xmpie.com. This week's news, led by an inspiring story. Print businesses in Australia often bemoan the fairly limited size, with a relatively small population for a Western country and the huge distances between cities. The east coast of the USA is a complete contrast, with 120 million people living in close proximity to each other. What a market opportunity. Well, Sydney-based signage business Easy Science, which manufactures teardrops amongst other things just like these, is starting a manufacturing operation in the US off the back of 3 years of successfully exporting, factoring in an investment of $2.8 million for the business. The new plant is located in a place called Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania, 6,700 square meters. Eventually have 130 staff, double the number at Easy Science factory in southwest Sydney. Hiring will begin this month for the new facility. The company anticipates a soft launch in May and a full launch budget by July. Manufacturing technology will mirror the company's Smeaton Green Centre to produce multiple products, these teardrop banners being one of them. Operations manager Steph Talty, she's relocating to the US to manage the business, to start up the business. Andy Fryer, joint managing director, told Print21 the site was chosen for its proximity to multiple large population centres, with New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Baltimore, Washington DC, and much of the rest of that densely populated East Coast all within delivery distance. Fryer told me rapid turnaround is part of our core proposition. The chosen site gives us that. Fryer and his business partner, Adam Parnell, took over Easy Science 16 years ago when it was just a one-man band. They were in the next door unit. They've grown the business consistently ever since, and 2 years ago moved into their new factory, trebling the floor space up to 8,700 square meters. Great story. That's what you call vision, isn't it? Going over to the US and starting up over there. The other big news this week sees the liquidator of former high-profile New South Wales print business Sydney Allen, which went down with debts of $7.6 million 6 years ago, seeking to take the former directors to court, claiming the company was trading while insolvent, and says it's aiming to get unsecured creditors up to 57 cents in the dollar. Liquidator John Morgan will shortly commence legal proceedings that allege Sydney Allen Print, whose director was John Mangos, and Sydney Allen Manufacturing, whose directors were Mangos and Chris Wallace. He will allege they traded while insolvent for 2 years, until the company's demise in April 6 years ago. It will allege that the directors of Macmillan Investment Holdings were also part of that for the last year, when it had, Macmillan that is, had what the liquidator alleges were shadow directors in the business. Unsecured creditors are owed $4.27 million in total by both Sydney Allen Printing, $3.2 million, and Sydney Allen Manufacturing, $1 million. Secured creditors include Macmillan Investment Holdings, which is owed $1.8 million. In other news, the Real Media Collectors Awards programme, the Real Media Awards, is returning to its major gala event. It's merging the 21 and 22 years into one event, which will take place in September. Closing date for entries 31st of May. Also back are the Asia Pacific and Japan HP Inspiration Awards, with printers needing to get their entries in by Monday, April 11th for the awards, which pitch Australian and New Zealand printers against those from the rest of the region. Pack Print's coming on the horizon, the big show for the Australia and New Zealand print industries, set for 4 days from the 28th of June. Exhibitors keen to impress. Kodak will be featuring its portfolio of digital print, offset plate and software workflow solutions, presenting, it says, with the aim of enabling printers to thrive in a changing market or changing environment. Stickon Science will be bringing a immense range of European-made digital all-in-one eco-friendly digital print and emboss systems to the show, which it says is also the greenest print out there. We found out 2 weeks ago that Label Expo has been cancelled, but that hasn't stopped some of the exhibitors, with Zycon now going to run a Zycon Cafe in the week that Label Expo should have taken place in Belgium there, and Durst to run an open week at its Italian HQ at the same time. All are welcome to both. For all these stories and more in full detail, go to the ANZ Print Industry News Centre, www.print21.com.au. That's it for this week. Thanks to our sponsor XMPie. Create sticky relationships with your customers, grow your volume and generate revenue from new applications. Go to do-more.xmpie.com. This is Wayne Robinson, editor of Print21, signing off.